All sports, all plays. All sports, all plays. All sports, all plays. 365, we making up plays. You talking the game, get you to the days. We're high in the court, the dime in the lane. Variety topics, living the same. All consultation, sports information. In the airways, taking the nation. Sport, all plays, that's working your faces. Straight to the field, so time to laces. All sports, all plays.
Yeah, what is up, everybody? It is Sunday, February the 20th, 2022, the week after Super Bowl 56. We all know what the score was, but we're going to break it down for you and go over a whole bunch of other stuff here live on the Touchdown Crew. I am Charles. Joined to me to my right is Randy Almost Jackson Jowers, and down right below is the coach, probably one of the new coaches of the USFL and kind of like in hiding. And we got him going on here as well. So we got three people in. Mike, of course, being fashionably late. Or did he say he's not coming?
He's on vacation.
He's on vacation. Okay. He's always on vacation. So it is what it is, folks. Gentlemen, good morning. How are you guys doing today?
Fantastic. Happy to be back from Internet Hell.
Yes, we kind of missed you on that one, even though we communicated like by proxy there on the chat. But you know, we missed you, man. We missed you. You know, it was just me and Coach. Coach, how you doing this morning?
Man, good. It's Sunday.
It's Sunday, but it doesn't feel like Sunday. I'm sorry. You know, I had to wear my jersey just to pretend that it's normal, but it's not. We all know about it. Football season, at least for the NFL, is over. We got to see two great teams play in Los Angeles. One of them went ahead and had a victory parade for about a couple of dozen people. And then you also had the other one who had a victory parade because, hell, they just reached the Super Bowl with all that young talent. So it's like, you know, you got to give love where love is. But let's break it down, folks. Let's put it this way. There's some questionable calls on that Super Bowl. Referees were kind of like, you know, they were probably in backstage with Snoop Dogg, maybe, you know, getting ready for the show, if you know what I mean. And they could have missed a few calls there. The Bengals, though, they hung in there as best they could. But that O-line, guys, let's be frank, 9 sacks for that Cincinnati Bengal O-line. And do we blame it all on the line, or we blame it on Burrow holding the ball too long? Where's the blame lie on that one? Because honestly, running the ball was fine. They were okay. Whole lot better than the Rams. The Rams didn't get anything going on running the football on the offensive side. Cincinnati at least had a little bit of that, but you know, their big weapons that were shut down pretty good. What are your takes, Coach?
To be honest with you, I think they got out of what they were doing. I think when they got to the fourth quarter, they kind of panicked a little bit, because if you go back and you look, the first series or the first half, it was short and quick game. It was 3-step drops, get it out. We was running the ball, and they was doing a lot of motion. So they got out of that, and they started getting greedy because they were trying to get the home run, my opinion. Which we already knew you couldn't do that. But once you, like I said, the quick game, the hitches, the slants, the drags, get it out real quick, that was killing them, because one, the Rams were in the zone, and then Jalen Ramsey, can we now say that he's not the best corner in the league?
No, after getting burned like that, no, absolutely not. And even though I will go ahead and say that 75-yard touchdown pass, I'm sorry, that should have never happened. That should have been called back. Definitely, that was one of the ones there. But that's what kept Cincinnati in the ball game. And I was kind of thinking, you know what, the best team won at the end, because if that came down to a 20-16 ball game, everybody's going to say, what the hell happened? Yeah, this is why they won. It was a blown call. This is why they won. So I'm actually glad in some even though Cincinnati was my pick, I'm actually glad to see the Rams winning, because that way we don't have to talk about how bad the officiating was on that one play that cost the Rams the game. Randy, what's your take on the Super Bowl, man? How'd you see it play out?
I kind of agree with what Coach said. I think that they got away from what they know, but I think that, like you mentioned, that the face mask, when he threw him down by the face mask, that was egregious. And I saw a lot of Bengals fans talking about the officiating at the end, and to me, it was laughable because there was nothing as egregious as that in the whole game. I thought that there was a couple. I agree with what you said too. The offensive line wasn't good, but they're all season long. It hasn't just been the offensive line's been the problem. Burrow does have a tendency to hold on to the ball a little too long, looking for the big play, trying to get Jamar Chase open, Higgins, those guys. But I think that for that team, as young as they are, to be in that spot, I know that they learned a lot. We got to see, what they do, how they grow from here, because we've also seen teams be that young, make it, and never get back, a la Dan Marino.
Yeah, Marino's name came up, and Burrow, there was a meme on there where Marino congratulated and Burrow say, "Listen, don't take offense to I didn't win my first game out." Oh, Dan, you also never went back either, so that's not exactly something you want to kind of take in like that. How about let's give John Elway. John Elway didn't make it his first 4 times. Finally came out and actually got his Super Bowl on his 5th try, but still. A lot of quarterbacks don't make it 2-3 times, let alone 5, or in Tom Brady's case 10 or 9, whatever the hell. I'm just saying, it's just crazy. You gotta take that opportunity. If you don't make it, then you don't know if you're ever gonna get back to it. But
I thought Burrow played okay, but he didn't play great. I think we can also agree with that.
No, but the same thing is, I think Burrow also went ahead and came up against a real talented defense. Not to say he hasn't come up against defenses before, but now this defense had 17, 18 weeks of film to see what you've been doing, to see how you've been progressing. Now you can go ahead and see, well, all right, this is what they know. And, possibly Cincinnati wasn't prepared to make changes. And if they did, they made the wrong changes. Coach, I agree. I think Cincinnati was able to move the ball up and down a little bit during the first half, but second half they kind of slipped away. Again, wanting to go for that home run ball like they love so much, but you got to be able to work within your confines what they're giving you. And I think the Rams gave a lot of underneath stuff. They just couldn't find it. So that's what the Bengals. Now, overall, Rams, they bought their way into a Super Bowl. Let's not joke around.
How do you say they bought their way?
So they went ahead and got Odell Beckham. They got Von Miller. They went ahead and got Jalen Ramsey. All these players there. They built this so they could win the Super Bowl. Let's not mix words here. They got all these players not to just let's go deep into the playoffs and we'll just call it a wrap after that. We did what we were supposed to do. Let's beat Tom Brady. Okay, we beat Brady. All right, doesn't matter what happens later on. No, they went in to win the Super Bowl. So they got the Super Bowl. Now they have all these free agents. Aaron Donald has made it clear. Bring back Vaughn, bring back OBJ, and I'll come back. It sounds like Aaron is on the verge of retirement. Correct me if I'm wrong.
I think he's campaigning for his teammates, but are we even going to see OBJ next year because of his injury? I think that I looked at their cap space. They can make it happen. They can move around some deals to bring back Vaughn, but Vaughn played great in the playoffs, but what are you really getting from an aging Vaughn? Is it really Von Miller? The name is, Hall of Fame type of talent, but how much are you going to have to pay a guy at the end of his career?
Are you talking about like leadership value? Because leadership value you don't pay top dollar for. I'll agree with you on that one. But leadership value, you come in and go ahead and lead a linebacking team that actually can play at a high level. Maybe not Von Miller now, but Von Miller like 5 years ago. Right. Probably you get people that can play that way. You can lead that. You can lead that team. And Vaughn, I think Vaughn still has stuff in the tank. I don't think it's going to be like a raging bull like he was before, but I think he could still go ahead and make plays.
Agreed.
But But Vaughn, you don't need him for 20 games. You need him for 8 games. You need him for plays because like I said from the beginning of the season, the Rams are gonna make the playoffs next year. Like
They should. If they don't, it's going to be a surprise.
That's what I'm saying. Let's just like some drastic injuries, but the Rams should be fine. I mean, we already know because if you think about it, you look at everybody in the NFC. It's the NFC West and everybody else. It's just, I mean, let's just be honest. You go to each division, so they'll make the playoffs. It's for Von Miller is like, okay, I don't need you for week 1, week 2, week 3. I might need you 30. You give him on a snap count, so he only have a certain amount of snaps.
Oh yeah, I'm not going to say that Von Miller's going to be the starter and he's going to play like 60 snaps a game or anything like that. He's going to be, he's going to be like on every third down or maybe to start the series and stuff like that.
But then also he's not going to be the expensive as everybody's saying. And then you take OBJ. OBJ is going to really go for the cheap because this is the second injury on that leg, and you don't even know if he's going to be back till January. If that, it's just because, like I said, no one really knows the severity of the injury, like how bad it really is.
Yeah, at least. Yeah.
Yes. So he's still gonna be on the cheap end.
But think about it like this: you do have, Robert Woods should be coming back next year, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, he should be.
So is OBJ? Is that even? a necessity for you to be successful? Yes.
Yes, it's good to have that toy.
You need to have those weapons. Honestly,
of course.
Look at Tampa. You take away Antonio Brown, even though he's just a hothead. But if you take away Antonio Brown, Brady wasn't the same. Brady struggled.
They didn't struggle.
He struggled.
He struggled against the Rams, which everybody did from the look of it. But the thing about it is, if you really look at that offense, that first half when OBJ was in there, he was going for MVP. When he was taken out, that means I can't even think his name right now. Not Cook, but the other receiver. He didn't really do anything. He couldn't make a catch.
He didn't. So and to be honest, Cup was bottled up until the very end.
Yeah. So they just said F it. It's just gonna be me and you. Go get open. But I think they need Odell Beckham because Odell Beckham, he limits the one-on-one. You can't, because if you're gonna spy Cup all day, we know for a fact Odell can at least get you. He can beat the one-on-one coverage.
Yeah.
Oh, I'd rather have him than not, Coach. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying OBJ is not can be used. I'm saying that if you're bringing back Woods and you got Van Jefferson and those guys, and I think Hopkins was the other guy's name. I just think that that's a talented receiver group.
But that's the thing. So like when you look at Woods was there. He was the motion guy. He was the guy that always sent in motion. He runs the little sit routes and everything else, correct? And then now you put Jefferson. Jefferson was when Odell Beckham came. Jefferson became the motion guy, and Odell hit that spot. When Odell got hurt, Jefferson went to his spot, and he couldn't make anything happen. He couldn't take advantage of it as like Odell did. Like I think the odd man out is probably gonna be Jefferson if Odell come back.
Yeah,
meaning he's gonna get less snaps. But again, we say that, but man, we don't even know when Odell might come back December. Because I don't know. What's name he broke his Achilles and he was back in December. So they might have some magic out there in Los Angeles, dog.
Yeah, but what are you're gonna sign him before the season starts for maybe he'll be back at the end?
We've got to find out if he's going to be able to recover first off. And I think
that's the timetable.
Is he also going to be able to go ahead and perform at a high level after that injury? Because if it's a certain type of injury, he may not be able to.
But then, Randy, I'm not saying he's not getting like $8 million. We're talking about like $2 or $3 million.
Or does he stay a free agent until he's ready to come back, and then a team signs him at the end as a contender, like he did this year? Yeah,
Van Jefferson, Bryson Hopkins. I think those are the receivers you're probably thinking about there, Coach.
Yeah,
right there. So.
Jefferson was definitely their number 2 guy when Odell went out, and he had like 8 targets, but only had 4 catches, and they weren't long. So Coach's point, though, he didn't beat the single coverage, certainly. And then when they doubled Cup, that was tough. And then at the end, when he was making all the plays, they didn't double him. He was lined up in single coverage, and he's going to beat especially Eli Apple every time.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and Apple, that's another free agent too that's coming up. So he's apparently he says he's got a renewed sense of energy in his gut that he needs to go ahead and lash out next year. So I don't know if that's his ploy of show me the money or what, but Eli Apple seems like he wants back next year. He wants another go at this.
Look, if he needed to get burnt in the Super Bowl to lose it, to get a fire in his belly, then that's not the dude I want on my team. That motivation should have been there from day one.
Come on, man. He was
That's what I'm saying. I think that's all words, Coach. You coached a long time. You know what it is. That guy, it's not like he wasn't motivated going into the Super Bowl.
Nah, man. He was, man. Look, he's trying to find a way to get all of the jokes because right now he is the butt of all the jokes.
Well, that's true.
All the jokes. So now it's kind of like, it's one of those things where it's like, okay, I got more motivation. I mean, and you look at it though. Take the Bengals. This was a winning season, like you said earlier, Charles.
Yep.
You went farther than no one expected you to go, like except the diehard Cincinnati fans that thought this. But I've picked them every week. I'm to lose in the playoffs. I'm not even gonna lie. So they did their thing.
Look who they were going up against. First off, you're going up against the Titans. Well, the Titans are the top seed in the AFC, whether they earned it or not. But they're the top seed. They're going to just run all over them. Burrow's not going to have any chance. They're just going to maul them. The offensive line is crap. Look what happened. They went ahead and beat Tennessee in Tennessee, which, by the way, they're looking for a new stadium. We'll get to that in a little later. Then they go to Kansas City. Oh, there's no way you're going to beat Mahomes. You're not going to beat Mahomes, Tyreek Hill, Travis Kelce, and their defense is stepping up to one of the best defenses in the second half of the NFL season. No way that's going to – they beat Kansas City. I mean, honestly, it's like anytime you bet against the Bengals, you're losing. And it's – unfortunately – the Cinderella's ball and everything like that, the pumpkin came out the stroke of midnight there in the Super Bowl, and unfortunately, Bengals suffered their first look. But listen, we got to give credit where credit's due. No, like Coach said, nobody expected Cincinnati to make it. Nobody thought it was ever possible. Not for the regular season. You're looking at a rookie quarterback going down for half the year, coming back. You really think he's going to do anything? No. Okay, we got a good receiver. He looked really sloppy at preseason. Do we ever think he's going to be this good? No. They went ahead and did it. Made it to the Super Bowl, shocked everybody. Now you got to put them up as like one of the people that the AFC needs to be worried about. You got Buffalo, Kansas City. Why not Cincinnati?
Well, we'll see what they bring back. And I mean, we talked about, we've seen this happen before. We've seen teams go on a run, find lightning in a bottle at the end, and then the next year, they just never recapture the magic. So, I mean, congrats on all that they accomplished because they did make a magical run. Joe Burrow proved to be the guy that could win in the biggest moment until the Super Bowl. But I got to see it. I got to see some more. Charles. I got to be honest.
Well, let's put it this way. Cincinnati wants to see more. Congratulations to young Zach Taylor. Yes, young. Zach Taylor gets an extension through 2026 to coach the Bengals. So he's sticking around for a little while. Apparently they believe in him. Looks like he's got the locker room on lock. And I don't mean that too.
They certainly believe in him because his record was awful before this season.
Yep. I just think he's got the talent around him now. Let's see what they do in year 2. Now, do we officially put this, even though this is Joe Burrow's second year, this is his first full year he played, do we talk about Joe Burrow's sophomore jinx at all? Or do we think, nah, they don't anymore?
I really don't. I think it's more now is going to be, how are you going to be after the Super Bowl? Because usually when you look at teams after they win a Super Bowl, that's when it's like, all right, you got the parade, you're doing all these things. Even the losers too, because I think for the past couple of years, the losers, they didn't even make the playoffs the following year. Because you got that, because now everybody, when you look at Cincy now, it's, oh man, y'all did so good, or you're so awesome, or y'all this, and you great, and you're this, and you're that. And then now you're doing all the little talk shows, the commercials, like your focus is different. And then plus, you are now what you call the hunted.
Yeah,
you're in that.
You have that target on your back now. Everybody's gonna watch what plays you're doing now. Let's microanalyze everything.
Yeah, but like I said, I give hats to them. They got a lot of stuff to work on. A lot of things. Everybody keeps saying the O-line, but the reality of it is everybody needs O-line. So the O-line is going to be very, very expensive because all you heard majority of the NFL was how sorry O-lines were or how sorry the run game was.
When you take a look at again, they set an NFL record for sacks in the Super Bowl. I mean, you cannot go ahead and say you're blaming this all on Burrow.
I'm not.
That offensive line played a huge role, and I will go ahead and state down to the wire that 4th and inches at the end of the game. What in the hell are you doing? Because your ass was getting beat to a pulp, and you weren't going to give Burrow any time. What are you doing throwing the ball? You just need a pitch. Quarterback sneaking the spike.
To be honest with you, I thought they were going to do it. They did it. They did it at the beginning of the first drive. He just threw it to Chase instead of throwing it to the little out route. Now, and they did it again. What I would have done, I would have motioned Jamar Chase across the field, and I would have ran it the double slants to the flat. Because if they were in the man coverage, so then the flats would have been wide open. That's what I would have thrown. It would have been a quick game, quick throw, easy read, which they did it earlier, and I think they did it on another third down. I don't know which one. Boyd, he dropped it. He dropped the slant for a first down.
Coach, did you think that it was bad play calling coming down the stretch?
Well, I think it was just the pressure. And I think that's what people don't.
So the calls were right, but the execution wasn't there because of the pressure.
No, I think the last two drives, I think it should have been straight quick game, because the Rams were really giving you one or two things. They either running man or they was running zone. Like what they should have did, they should have called 2 plays in the huddle, just like, hey, this is for the zone, and if he checks out man, hey, all we're gonna do is motion it over. Because once you motion them over, now it has to communicate.
Yeah, you have to go ahead and go man on you have to see the man coverage when you go in motion.
Yeah. So therefore, I think they panicked and they was trying to go for the deep ball, which they knew. I mean, let's just be honest. Jamar Chase was killing Jalen Ramsey. They knew that they had the time. Now, if you were going to do that, I believe that you should at least kept a tight end and the running back in to help protect. And then just go for your one-on-one.
So let me answer me this then. Jamar Chase, Jalen Ramsey, that battle. Do you see it's more Jamar Chase because he was better, or was it Jalen Ramsey just because he wasn't in the right spot? Who do you put the winner on? Do you just say that Jamar Chase is just too good, or Jalen Ramsey is just not that good?
Well, Randy, you go first because I don't.
Go ahead, Randy.
I feel like Coach has got some pent up aggression towards Jalen Ramsey because the way he talked about the Buccaneers. But no, I think.
He said something about the Bucs.
Oh yeah, this is has his record against Tom Brady.
We had to go there.
Man, I wasn't even paying no attention. I don't pay no attention.
Well, I mean, I think. It's not like it was just a one-on-one battle. There was a couple times that Jamar Chase had him, and then on the touchdown to Higgins, Ramsey. I think because Ramsey puts that pressure on himself, he puts that spotlight on himself. That when you do get beat or burned, even on the last play, they made a huge deal about it. When Burrow got sacked, Chase had already beat Ramsey down the field. He was running on a seam route wide open. So Ramsey it wasn't his greatest game by any stretch of the imagination. And I think it's just because Jamar Chase is better than him. It's plain and simple.
I think Jalen Ramsey is kind of like what Randy says. I think he's a lot overrated. And when you look at his athletic ability and then what people trade for him, and you compare him to all the other guys that's in that secondary, you say, hey, he's the most dangerous. So a lot of people don't really go at him. My
apologies. I'm actually taking a look at the sack numbers there. 7 sacks for the Rams, not 9 like I thought. My apologies.
Because even Ramsey, he almost blew it, the first play on that hitch route. And I was like, oh my gosh, go for the tackle. And I think I think that's just really what it is. Just people put Ramsey because you hear his name and you hear what he got traded for, and it's his name. Because think about it. He want to say about the Bucks. He got bummed by Mike Evans to bring him back in the game. Like, so he's known to give up the deep ball. It's just he plays lackadaisical. He don't play his perfect technique because he knows what he has up front on a lot of things also. Because he knows I only got to hold for what 2.5 seconds. We can go. I can go. Look, I only got to guard you for 2.5 because I got.
Look, Coach, shout out to Eric Weddle though. That man was coaching youth league football like a month before he was playing in the Super Bowl.
Yeah. You got to give him a lot of credit because just come out of nowhere and play a month, collect that check and that ring.
And I mean, he had at least 5 or 6 tackles in the Super Bowl, so it's not like he was just a decoy. He was making some plays.
Yes.
Oh, by the way, Von Miller, who everybody coach was saying is like, you don't need to pay for 2 sacks in the Super Bowl
and 3 quarterback hits. He played great in the Super Bowl. That's not what I mean. I think, like Coach said, that he's a spot player next year, not your focus point, because your focal point is always going to be Aaron Donald. I mean, period. He's the best defensive player in the game.
No, he's at third and 5, third and long, where they're going to throw the ball, and you say, "Hey, Von Miller, let's go." Like he's just a rotated in guy. I mean, and you look at it, even the Rams do a perfect job. They rotate the guys. They have D lineman that's good for run game, and they have D lineman that's good for the pass game. Like, and so he's that guy that comes in on the pass game. And then when you get to like the playoffs, okay, now you're gonna go 40, 50 snaps.
Let's talk Joe Mixon real quick because I think he's kind of an underrated asset that was in the Super Bowl. 72 yards on 15 carries. That's almost 5 yards a carry. What happened? How come they didn't stick with him more?
Panic, just like Coach said. They went away from what they were doing.
But you had the lead.
But that's not
going in. See what I'm saying?
But that's not what they're known for. When you look at the Bengals, what are they known for?
Oh, they're going deep, Jamar Chase.
Thank you. So you kind of go when you go what you known for. You go what you see yourself as. I mean, you look at the Rams. Rams tried to run the ball, they couldn't do it, and they just said at the last drive, where they say, "All right, Cooper Kupp, go to work."
complete opposite. 21 yards on 13 carries for Cam Akers, less than 2 yards a carry. Everybody else had to step in. Cooper Kupp ran the ball once for 7 yards. Sony Michel, 2 carries, 2 yards. I mean, it was just like, listen, we ain't running the ball. All right, Cooper, 10 targets, 8 catches, 92 yards, 2 touchdowns, MVP of the Super Bowl. Odell Beckham, when he was in there, he got 3 targets, 2 catches, 52 yards, and a touchdown.
So we talked a lot about that Bengals offensive line and how they run block well, but they didn't pass protect. The Rams were the complete opposite.
Exactly.
There was nothing that the running backs. It's not that we mentioned Akers and Henderson and those guys and Sony Michel, but they didn't have a chance. They were getting the ball and they were getting tackled immediately.
Yeah. Bengals up front, I think, just outplayed them, but they couldn't. I mean, that was just on run blocking, pass blocking. They weren't getting anything on freaking Stafford.
Hey, but you know what? You know what the turning point?
Stafford went ahead and threw 2 interceptions. You'd think all that time you'd make better choices.
That first one was, okay, let's just chunk it up. We're going to punt anyway.
And the second one was a deflection.
Yeah, the dude dropped the ball. But you know what's the crazy? And I talked to one of my friends about this. Now, I actually talked to my wife because I was telling her, I said, all right, Aaron Donald's for the active fool now. Is when Aaron Donald pushed Barrow to the sideline and the linemen started like slapping him.
Oh, yeah.
And it's like it just woke him up and he was like, oh, y'all must forgot.
Let me show y'all.
Yeah. That's when
they didn't forget. You just haven't shown up yet. Let's do something.
Look, Coach, I know this. That man ain't put a shirt on since the Super Bowl. I wouldn't either. If I look like that, I ain't never wearing a shirt.
Yeah, right. Defensive line, I think have a body like me. Like, you got that big dad gut going on.
Yeah.
And, just pushing everybody around. No, this guy's ripped.
Look, he looks a little different than you, Charles, but it's not much. It's the same. I mean, it's similar.
Just a little different, right? Just a little bit.
I mean, that dude's 300 pounds and he's got like an 8-pack. It's not human.
That's right. Something's wrong. He's going to be tested. That last drive to seal it for the Rams, 15 plays, couple of penalties in there. Any questionable calls, or do we think all that's legit?
Yeah, I mean, I think that the holding was like there was holding for sure, but there was the one on the linebacker that got called. I can't remember where they called it, defensive holding or pass interference. I didn't even see him touch it.
He grabbed him. I think it's one of those. It's a respect factor because
you screwed up on the first call that landed a touchdown. Now you got to give him first and goal.
No, that was Cooper Kupp, and a linebacker was guarding him, and Cooper Kupp was like nowhere near the ball. It's one of those. I think it's one of those calls. Like, come on, man, are you serious? And he had his hands close to it, so you had to give him the call because it's Cooper Kupp.
But there was one that was an offsetting. I think the Rams even scored a touchdown on it that was offsetting. So I mean, Rams fans could have been upset about that one, and the Bengals had opportunity after opportunity after opportunity. That one holding call that they were so upset about had no impact on that drive as much as they just could not defend Cooper Kupp. I mean, I don't know what the Bengals fans were upset about as far as with the refs.
No, because the one, even that touchdown, the touchdown that he scored, and he got hit in the back of the end zone, no one touched him.
That's what I'm saying.
Like he dragged all the way across. I'm like, if he's gonna play slot, you got to have a linebacker that's gonna beat him up.
That's right. Touch him up.
You got to have a safety over the top, and that other safety has to sit there and watch. And I'm gonna say, hey guys, Odell's not in. We're gonna man everybody else up. But if we lose this game, it ain't gonna be because of Kupp.
And that's what they were doing well when he went out. They were doubling Kupp, and then I don't know what they were thinking on the last drive. They put him in single coverage, and you're right. He went untouched, not even covered on the touchdown.
Yeah, so covering Kupp was definitely should have been your number one priority, but the Rams started looking elsewhere, and that's where they're starting. That's where you started bringing in Hopkins and Henderson and Jefferson. They just got more targets because, hey, they're doubling Kupp. We're just going to go find somebody else, and that's what the Rams do. They go ahead and they do find their other receivers. But yeah, I mean, it wasn't even funny. Kupp was their number one guy, and they were going to do anything they could to get him the ball, and did it successfully. They found him open successfully. So I don't know what was going on if Kupp just had those routes that they couldn't cover, or what happened. But he 10 targets, caught 8 of them, 92 yards, 2 touchdowns. He walks away with the MVP, the brand new truck or whatever they give him nowadays. I don't even know.
Matt Stafford with the no-look passes.
Yeah, no-look pass. He's trying to copy off Mahomes. Come on, man. Stop doing that. That's not even fun.
I got to talk on Matt Stafford real quick, though. I know you've all seen the clip where the lady falls off the stage and he walked off, man. That's not it. That's not an MVP moment there. The lady falls off the stage. You got to help her up.
Yeah. I mean, that's a meme just waiting to happen.
Yeah. And the lady ended up breaking her back. I mean, there's a GoFundMe. I'm sure that Matt Stafford will be donating to it, but my goodness.
Yeah. Anyway, final score 23-20. The Bengals lose to the Rams. They go back to Cincinnati, but you know what? They got to go back to Cincinnati with their heads held high. The future looks bright over there. You got 2 young stars there, quarterback and receiver combo that you're going to have for many, many years unless the cap space gets too tight or they screw up on the finances. Now you got to worry about protecting the quarterback. That's the next step. You got to protect the quarterback. You got defensive free agents you got to sign or at least replace with the Cincinnati Bengals. According to what I see, and this is according to sporttrack.com, $48.5 million in cap space for the Bengals. So they got a lot of money, according, if this is correct or not. This is 2022. They got a lot of money they can work with, a lot of money to sign the Apple, a lot of money to go ahead and sign the MVP from Mike Bates Motel. Do they sign these people, or are these guys going somewhere else?
I think Jesse Bates will be back, but let's not. I got a dog on Mike's boy for a second. Jesse Bates, the previous season, was an All-Pro second team. This year, he was not good. I mean, the year before he had something like 15 pass deflections. This year he had like 3. So he played well in the playoffs, but into a contract year, we talk about it all the time. You got to play well, and if they look at it as a body, that probably cost him some millions of dollars. So he's not going to get the payday that he would have if he had stayed with the level of play he had last year.
I think I think he will though, Randy. And the only reason I say that, if you look at a lot of teams after they go to the Super Bowl, like their free agents, they get paid a lot of money. You can take the Patriots. What is it? Van, the D tackle that went to Detroit. Like these cats, people pay because they want that. All right, we know someone that's been there, so we need that leadership in our locker room. We need these type of guys. So honestly, and he's probably one of the top safeties coming out. So I think, they're going. I think a lot of people is going to spend one to get them out of Cincy and make them drop them down to a level. So I think a lot of these guys, except Eli Apple is the only one.
Who's paying him the bag to get him out of Cincy?
Only one. Only one gonna pay that is Cooper Kupp. He said, "Hey man, I think the 49ers need a DB. Here's the extra $2 million. Come on over there."
So where does the Rams sit with their, Von Miller, that one of the top free agents that are on defense right now? Do they go ahead and re-sign him, keep him, make Aaron Donald happy, or are we talking about Von? Thank you very much. Here's your ring. Have a nice day.
You got to bring him back. If Aaron Donald tells you to bring back the man, you bring back the man.
And that's one thing about the Rams, and a lot of people don't like how they do business. I love how they do business. For the simple fact,
How do they explain to everybody? How do they do business?
That a first round draft pick is pointless. If you like, it's pointless if you don't really know what you got. Because if you really think about it, you go back and look. The Jaguars had their first round draft pick. Who did they draft with the Rams pick? You don't even remember.
Right,
so it's kind of like, but let me ask you this: if you take Jalen Ramsey as a first round draft pick, correct?
Oh hell yeah,
absolutely.
And so same as Matthew Stafford. I think those are the things where they say the first and second round is like a car. That's all it is. It's a shiny car until you take it off the lot. Then once you take it off the lot, it's pointless. But they get all layers through the third and fourth round, which now you're not paying that first round money. And so now you can pay your first. Now you can keep your stars. You can keep the guys that's important, and you can use everybody else's third, fourth round guys. Because third, fourth round guys they're not making. I mean, they're making good money, but it ain't like that first round. It ain't guaranteed as much.
So where do the Rams? So going forward, the Rams do they stay competitive? Do they bring back their nucleus of offensive and defensive stars? Do they have enough money to do it? According to, and again, Randy, you were saying they had a ton of money. Correct me if I'm wrong. I mean, I see the Rams here negative $13 million.
No, I don't mean that they have the money. They have the ability to restructure some deals to get under to re-sign those guys.
Okay.
Because certainly Von Miller's not going to get the $114 million that he got with the Broncos. He's going to be looking. I don't think veterans minimum, but I think you're talking $5 million, not 18 a year.
Yeah.
Because I think Donald's his contract is what he got. What, 1 more year, 2 more years?
I think so.
So they'll probably restructure his contract. Plus, they still hadn't calculated the $20 million that they're going to have for next year. Also, Matthew Stafford probably redo his contract.
Well, if Aaron Donald wants to re-sign his teammates, then maybe he will definitely volunteer to restructure some deals.
Yeah, maybe he'll take it out of his own paycheck.
Because he don't
remember he already had the $114 million deal. He's got money in the bank.
So Aaron Donald is under contract until after 2024.
Oh, so he's
got
still
2 more years.
But he kind of sounded like he was hitting retirement. Like, hey, I won my rank. That's it.
He doesn't have. He's out of his guarantee money, and now once he got to that Super Bowl status, and you see how much everybody else paid for these D linemen. He's at that point now where it's like, hey, look, I'm a Super Bowl 3-time Defensive Player of the Year, and I was almost the defensive Super Bowl MVP. I was second runner-up. Where's my money?
All right. He's got the bag. He can afford to take some risks.
Yeah.
I think, and then on top of that, the ownership they don't mind spending money. Spending money is not an issue for the Rams.
So let's talk offense real quick. So we got a lot of offensive players that are on the free agent market. Some could make some heads turn, some maybe not so much. Devontae Adams leads everybody. Now, Devontae with Green Bay, does his allegiance lie with Rodgers, or do you think he, like, wherever Rodgers goes, he wants to go? Or, do you think there's a team that will snag him?
Yeah, that's called the Green Bay Packers. They're going to franchise his ass, and he's going to be playing right there next year, no matter who his quarterback is.
What do you think, Coach? Same thing? You think?
Yeah, I said that from the beginning. I was like everybody was doing all this. Well, they're a package deal. They're going to leave. No. Green Bay's going to franchise him for that $18, $20 million a year that he'll make, and he's going to be right there. And they possibly be there for 2 more years. So he's fine.
What about Chris Godwin, one of the other receivers out there? Probably, if not as important as Mike, maybe more important. Chris Godwin's a free agent.
Bring him to the Colts, baby. We need him.
You see him going anywhere, Coach?
No, they're gonna keep him. He's a drafted buck. He's gonna stay a buck. Here's the fact, that's why we free agent him. Now, one thing about it is we'll probably get him on a loaner, a little cheaper deal because he's hurt. Just say, hey, and then next year, once the money, we have Tom Brady out of our dead money. So then therefore we have extra $25 million. And we're low.
So even Tom Brady, see, the finances still don't make a lot of sense to me. So even Tom Brady retiring, Bucks still have dead money?
Yes.
They pay his dead money regardless.
They have. Yeah, you got. I think because what Tom Brady's like 25 million, so you have dead money on the cap.
And what a deal, Tom Brady with the 25 million. You got other cats out here like Dak Prescott making 40.
Hey.
He's still taking the neighborhood deal. You know why? Because Giselle's bringing in $50 million a year. We don't need that.
That's true, and I don't think Tom needs the money.
Oh no, doesn't need the money right now. And the rumors him maybe coming back, pulling some type of Brett Favre deal.
No, he's not coming back.
I think he's done. I don't think Brady's going to go out like that. There was rumors that he may be the 49ers day one quarterback.
He's not shutting it down though.
He's not. He's done.
Yeah, he's done.
He's about to be a fan for his family. But to be honest with you, it's real crazy. Like we talk about how like the free agent, because you got to look at the money. And Randy saying the Colts, they about to be in dead money because they finna cut old Carson Wentz, and
they still got plenty of money.
And who y'all gonna get, man?
They ain't cutting Carson Wentz. Don't believe the hype, man.
And
they're cutting him.
They're not cutting him. He's not. Look, Tom Brady ain't coming back. Carson Wentz ain't leaving the Colts. It's all good.
So here's a question: who do you think the Bucks target in free agency as quarterback, or if they target anybody?
Jameis Winston, bringing him back, baby.
Oh my God, really?
I think he's ready.
Do you really want to go down that nightmare scenario again?
I got a question for you, Coach, and you too, Charles. The rumor is that when Bruce Arians was out, rehabbing his Achilles thing, that Byron Leftwich and Tom Brady were doing the offensive game plan. And then when he came back, he red X'd it all, said, this is what we're doing. It's my team, whatever. And a lot of the reason he's retiring is because they had some tension. And that's not the first player that said that about Bruce Arians. How much truth do you think there is to that?
I don't know. It's like, because it's one of those things, and a lot of people show that. I mean, it's a lot of loyalty because when you hear Bruce Arians, you hear great things about him, then you hear things like that. But we say that it wasn't too stressful for Leftwich because he would have took the Jaguars job.
I agree.
So also too, you have to realize where Brady was the other 20 years. He was with a dictator up in New England.
He's sick of that shit.
You mean to tell me he's going to up and leave after 1 to 2 years in Tampa Bay, and he's stuck around with 20 years getting sticks up his ass?
Different though, because now you got Giselle saying, I put my career on hold for you to do your thing. His kids are getting older. It's different time in his life. But
the whole conversation on that, Randy, and I said it. What are you like for? And when you get to Brady status, it's like, what are you playing for? Who are you chasing? What are you chasing? I understand why you came back. You came back for the back-to-back. Now, if you would have won it this year, then it would have been a 3-peat. Now, if you play in the fall, it's hey, it's just to have your last hoorah or go get another Super Bowl. It's like you got enough Super Bowls, so it's you just basically just playing.
Says who? Says who?
But
No. Says who? Who says that he has enough Super Bowls? Everybody except Tom Brady.
no, but that's the thing though, Charles. When you talk about Tom Brady, and I've said it 1,000 times, Tom Brady he goes off motivation. What is his motivation going into the fall?
That's a good question. I don't know.
I think he's innately motivated, though. I don't think that dude. He's not Eli Apple that needs to lose to get motivated.
Yeah, because
oh no, bull. That's bull.
Because
I'm sorry, you're not going to go out your career with a pick 6 interception against the Titans, and that's going to be your last game. You knew he had something to prove.
Well, to go back to answer your question, I think he said about the Bucs quarterback. I think you got Winston. Shoot, you got Carson Wentz.
Back up, buddy.
I don't know, man. Which is worse?
No,
which is worse? I don't know,
man. No. I don't know, because even Carson Wentz. Because one thing about it is you can get each and one of them guys for the cheap. By getting them for the cheap, now you pretty much reload. You can re-sign everybody on the offense.
What about Jimmy G?
You got to trade for him. I don't think they're going to cut him.
They're not cutting him.
I agree. There's rumors that Tampa Bay has made a serious push for Russell Wilson.
But because here's the thing: you say Jimmy G can't throw deep.
Exactly, and Bruce Arians is no risk it, no biscuit. Carson Wentz and Jameis Winston both do have big arms.
And Mike Evans is, if you can't throw the ball deep, Mike Evans is pointless. You might as well trade him. If you get Jimmy G, you might as well trade Mike Evans.
You want to go with Wilson. Wilson's got the most beautiful deep ball ever.
See,
that guy can put a 70-yard throw on a rope. He could. That's why every time in that skills competition, his first throw is to that corner deep, and he nails it. Because that's Russell.
You see a comment down there. This guy just said Brady equals prima donna. I'm gonna let you guys defend him for a second here, man.
You know what?
No. Look.
I'm not going to defend him. And here's why. Because Brady, years 1 through 5, he loved everybody. Ever since he has the decision, I'm going to give you all the targets. Edelman, I'm going to give you all the targets. Welker, I'm going to give you all the targets. Moss, I'm going to give you all the targets.
Well, I'd give Moss all the targets too, to be clear.
I'm just saying, there's no love to the rest of the receiving corps. There's no love. He's got his one butt buddy that he'll throw to, and then everybody else, it's like,
I don't agree with that.
Yeah, I'll just throw it to you. Whatever.
Look.
It's like if you drop a ball, you're basically in Tom Brady's doghouse. You will never see another target for the rest of your career.
Peyton was the same way.
But no, it's not. He was not the same way before. He was not the same way before. He got more arrogant each time. But you know what? He did what he did to the thing is, though, is there is no, when you take all these egos there, Godwin, Evans, even Scotty Miller, Gronk, Howard, Bray, you're not going to go ahead and distribute the ball evenly and keep everything happy. You're going to have your favorite. Gronk's his favorite. Evans was his favorite. Miller here and there, and Godwin here and there. But
no.
Tell me something.
You can't. No. If anything, if you want to say that, because Godwin was leading the team in yards and receptions before he got hurt.
But targets?
But yes, but here's the thing.
Wait. So how do you, the number one receiver in Tampa, Mike Evans, how do you lose favoritism with Tom Brady, where Godwin, the second receiver, is making more?
He doesn't, but that's the thing. Evans doesn't fit Brady. Evans is a deep route guy. Godwin is the guy that goes between the middle of the hashes, the drags, the quick screens, and everything else. Gronk is the vertical threat. So when you look at it, Godwin and and Gronk was going to get a lot of the catches just for the simple fact of the matter because you got to keep a safety over Evans because all he does is vertical. But it doesn't matter, man. People say what they want to say about
John saying, how much does Gronk have left in Tampa? Does he stay? Does he come back?
He's gone.
Oh, they're done. He's there. He was there with Brady for Brady, and Brady we trust. Now I'm going home and doing what I've been doing.
And he only signed a 1-year deal on purpose, so he could have that.
Gotcha. So who's going to be the Bucs quarterback coming into 2022? We say Blaine Gabbert?
Nope. We'll wait. We just have to wait till March.
Oh, come on now. Come on. Listen, we gotta have stuff to talk about before March. Come on, don't sue me like that. No, we can't do that. Randy, who's the Bucs quarterback coming in 2022?
Aaron Rodgers.
Jimmy Garoppolo.
Jimmy G in Tampa. You want to know who's an outside dog right now? Kyler Murray. Just throwing it out there.
I think that's a lot of talk about nothing.
It might be, but you know what? That would be kind of interesting.
I do think that Blaine Gabbert, if I had to put I'd put it at 50-50 that Blaine Gabbert is the starter. I really would.
Are they just playing to play for this year? No goal intention. We're playing for a high draft pick or something. You think they're going to do that?
Tampa?
I don't think that's the case. They feel like they have enough around him.
You think there's enough for Blaine to make something happen?
But Charles, here's what you gotta realize. That's why I said when March 18 comes, because then people like the Rams, people like the Saints, that's over the cap, and they got to get under the cap. They're gonna start making cuts and releases, and so like even James Winston, you can get him back for the cheap. You can take the Colts if they talk like they talking that they're gonna cut Carson Wentz. I mean, you can get whoever you want because now you can sit there and say, I can bring Godwin. Godwin, here's your money. I repay my O line, and then let's go. That's just how.
I got one.
Uh-oh.
I got one.
Randy's got one.
Starting quarterback day one next season is Baker Mayfield for the Buccaneers. Remember, I said that on the show. Everybody that's listening, Baker Mayfield.
Remember, you heard it there. Randy, who's had no internet for the past 3 weeks.
I haven't been able to Google anything.
It did his research, Baker Mayfield. Just remember that.
It's listen, can I get my logic first, Coach?
No.
Okay. No. Randy, give your logic. Because you got to give Coach a headache right now.
This is a buy low opportunity. You can do all of what you just said, and you can get Baker Mayfield a lot cheaper than any of these other guys because he's been wildly inconsistent. But he put those weapons around him, and they'll feel like they can still be there in the playoffs with a chance. I'm telling you, Baker Mayfield.
Baker Mayfield basically makes as much sense as Jameis Winston. But go ahead, Coach. I want to hear you.
No.
Oh, come on.
If you get Baker. You might as well get ready for a top 5 draft pick next year.
Okay. He also the same thing we're saying about these other guys. Do the Buccaneers have a good offensive line?
Yes. Okay.
Well, the Browns don't.
All right.
Browns got a crappy one. Does Baker Mayfield have? But he did have OBJ. But are the weapons? He didn't even want to play with Baker. I see what you're saying there. But are the weapons better in Tampa or are they better in Cleveland?
Right now.
Without Gronk.
Right now.
Without Gronk. Well, starting right now because Odell's not there. No.
Just saying, man.
But then no. But man, next topic. I'm not going to entertain this with y'all. Look, see when you get older, Charles. We go back.
Older? What are you talking about getting older? You see my goatee?
Yeah.
You see it? I am old.
Hey, but when you get older. See, you don't use these pointless arguments. You just move on.
Okay.
Because
just remember I said it, Coach.
You did.
You did. I'm saying it makes as much sense as Jameis Winston.
I'm not saying it makes sense. I'm telling you what's going to happen. I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't want Baker Mayfield. If the Colts got Baker Mayfield,
Tampa gets Baker, I'm going to another team.
Hey, don't be Freddie. Don't be Freddie, Coach.
No, I go to Jaguars.
I'm not letting Freddie off the hook for going to a Super Bowl champion off of his sorry ass Giants.
No. I go.
Jaguars.
Look. I'll find a team. Look, I'm probably gonna pick it off the jerseys. Just say, oh, them jerseys look nice.
Hey, speaking of jerseys, let's talk about this. USFL, it's happening, and as a matter of fact, happening a lot sooner than you think. So they actually have the draft set for the February 22nd. 2 days. They're going to go ahead and do a 35-round draft with their 8 teams. Now, the 8 teams, just in case we're living under a rock, they're bringing back all the old teams. 8 of them: the Michigan Panthers, New Orleans Breakers, the Birmingham Stallions, the Pittsburgh Maulers, which I think is a stupid name.
I love
it. New Jersey Generals, the Tampa Bay Bandits, Houston Gamblers, and the Philadelphia Stars. They'll be 35, and they'll actually do the draft like the XFL did. Certain rounds will be for certain positions. So we'll know next Sunday when we do the show which stars, or I should say which players, will be on there, will be on each team. Now, let's break it down what the USFL is. It is a spring football league, a 99% failure rate on everything, worse than being married. So USFL is going to play in its entire 10-game season in Birmingham, Alabama, splitting between Protective Stadium and Legion Field.
Yeah, that's terrible. You guys ever been to Legion Field?
I think that is awful. It starts, the very first game starts on April 16th when they will host there will be the first game. Tickets, the good news is the tickets for everybody 15 and up is $10.
Can I ask a question?
Sure.
Why do you have, and I have to go back real quick, why do you have the Michigan, the Dallas, the Houston, the Tampa Bay?
Yeah, why bother, right?
And why have all that, and they're all going to be in Alabama?
Because I have a feeling that they're expected, or they're thinking there's going to be a second year next year, and everybody's going back to their home stadium.
Okay.
This is to save money.
My understanding. No, it's not even to save money. It's due to COVID.
I'm not buying it.
I'm not buying it either because everybody else is selling out stadiums. Everybody else is 100%.
Look, I'm in Memphis, and we've had 2 of these spring football things. The last one being what was it? It wasn't even the XFL. I forget what it was called now. It was the Memphis Express. But it's garbage football.
It's not okay. I can understand your take on it. Yes. So spring football is kind of like the second and third string, fourth string people on the practice squad that come and play. But there are some stars that come out of it. Now, I'm not saying it's going to be all, I'm not going to say it's going to be all garbage.
I'm not going to look. This is what you already have, though. You already have college football as that feeder. That's where they're all coming from. The SEC by itself would get 1 million times the ratings, if any. And they're playing all these games in SEC country in Birmingham, Alabama. I just don't. Those people ain't that red. They'll be at the spring game before they'll be at this garbage.
So this right here is basically to give these guys a second or third chance. A lot of these people have played in the spring league, the TSL. A lot of people have played in the second XFL, the American Alliance of Football, whatever the hell that is. So these people have played. Like, for instance, there have been some players that have gone on to be signed as backups, or at least part of it. People that have played, like the quarterback for Carolina, PJ Walker. He was in the XFL the year before and signed with the Carolina Panthers, and had played he started 7 or 8 games. Now, was he that great? No, but I'm just saying that there's still talent that's out there that's not being utilized. There's 500 players that have signed contractual obligations to the USFL that will be available for this draft. There will be a 38-man active roster, a 7-man practice squad, and players will receive base compensation and eligible for victory bonuses. First game starts April 16th, where the Generals and Stallions kick off at 7:30 Eastern Time. The game will air on both Fox and NBC. Fox and NBC will make up for majority of the TV networks.
So I got a question.
Good.
Do we know who? Are there any names that we know that's in this draft?
So
some.
They're not releasing any names before
Johnny Manziel.
Manziel has been rumored to be.
So I think the reason why this is not, and I tell people all the time, when you do a league like this, you got to have either one or two things. Either the name of the team has to be something that everybody knows and they ride with, or you got to have players that people know. Like us, as in we're like football fans, we're gonna watch it. But it's the other fans, just like the Super Bowls and the NFL games. It's the moms, it's the other people that you try to get to watch the game. And a lot of people, they don't have ties to it because it's a difference when you say like a Cowboy fan.
And we're also talking about too, this is a 40-year disconnect between the first USFL and now.
I mean, half of us don't even remember that. But it has to, you gotta have some, but you gotta have a name, you gotta have a player, you gotta spend money.
So here are the names that I can tell you. And that's your head coaches.
Boring.
Very. Larry Fedora for New Orleans, Skip Holtz for Birmingham, Kirby Wilson for Pittsburgh, Mike Riley is taking over for Jersey, Todd Haley in Tampa, Kevin Sumlin in Houston, Bart Andrus in Philadelphia, and
the most boring of all,
the headliner, Jeff Fisher in Michigan.
8-8.
So that's who we got right now as far as coaches. Now, the players, again, after Wednesday, we'll know who's on each team, and we'll see if there's any quote-unquote unrecognized star power or old star power that are trying to, resurge their career. And this is what we got going on coming up for the next 16 weeks that we'll be covering. Well, we got to realize it doesn't start until April 16th. That's the first game. So we have all these weeks leading up to it. Now, we will still, on the Touchdown Crew, we'll keep you updated on what's going on in the NFL, free agent transactions, trades. We'll talk draft, but what the teams need, where the teams are going. Believe me, NFL doesn't sleep. So the Touchdown Crew will still go ahead and continue on. We got all these trade rumors going on. We got the quarterback carousel that's going on. What's going to happen to Aaron Rodgers? Is Russell Wilson really leaving Seattle? Is Kyler Murray coming to Tampa? What's going on with everybody? Is Carson Wentz going to be dealt from Indianapolis? Is Indianapolis actually going to get a real quarterback this time, or just some statue that just hands off all the time?
Man, it doesn't, Charles, it doesn't matter who they got at quarterback. You can't beat the Jacksonville Jaguars in Jacksonville. So it doesn't matter. You can say who they have at quarterback. So Brady can come out there. They're still going to lose in Jacksonville.
And Indianapolis beat Jacksonville in Jacksonville. That's another question we got to look at.
It can't.
Well, the answer is no.
Will Jacksonville go 17-0 this year and surprise everybody?
No, they will go, 1-16. But the game that they'll win will be against the Colts in Jacksonville.
But hey, real quick, I got a question on this.
Yeah.
USFL. Randy, what do you think they need to do?
So from a football standpoint, I'm going to talk strictly the other way. The only way to sell this, you're going to have to sell this to the non-NFL purist. And the only way you're going to be able to do that is with stories. And I don't mean it's similar to like a WWE, but with the drama. The reason the NFL is king is because, number one, they have the best product. But number two, just like Charles said, they don't ever sleep. So you're going to have to produce storylines. Not the same tired-ass Johnny Manziel. Is he partying? Can he be a part of that? Sure. But we got to do something different. And this whole fan, I like the fact that they did this radical, like fan controlled, fan picking the play stuff, because you're getting people involved, and you got to get into that metaverse and that gamer world. That's how you got to do it, man. You got to get the fans more involved.
Yeah, I actually seen a couple of games of that. That's actually pretty interesting. They really party over there. They just need you know what? And again, that was taking place during the whole pandemic thing that really hit hard. So there was no fans. Imagine having fans in there now.
Well, I will say this:
plays in the stadium.
Years back, I think it was like 2000, 2001, when Memphis had the Memphis Maniacs in the XFL.
Yes,
and Vince McMahon came out, and it started like in January.
Oh, that was horrible.
It was horrible, but they sold at the Maniacs. They sold like 25, 30,000, and those people drank and drank and drank. It was a party, and and they were the first ones. They got to be innovators. They were the first ones, because when they came in and put it in the Liberty Bowl, they're the ones that had that camera that goes over the whole stadium. They introduced that to the NFL. You got to innovate.
And that's the thing too. The USFL, and I haven't read up on it yet. I'm sure there's going to be some rules that are going to be adjusted, modified, and that's what made the difference between the first XFL with the Memphis Maniacs and everybody else and the new XFL that came out a couple of years ago that folded because of COVID. The new XFL actually did have real football, not this BS that they did the first time. Agreed. They sold it, and it was actually a good game.
You know what else? For every rule that everybody hates about the NFL, as far as overtime rules, just do the opposite. Do what you think the NFL should do. Do the opposite of that. You'll get people to watch just for that. Eliminate kickoffs, 2-point conversions on every touchdown, whatever.
And the XFL had a good idea, a shootout. To put the ball on the 5-yard line on each end, and you just get one play. You score, it's a point. Whoever had the most points after 5 rounds wins. Kind of like the shootout of a hockey game. I like that idea. It was never put into use because there was no overtime. Nobody went to overtime in the XFL after the first 5 weeks. That's when they shut it down. But I would have liked to see that in action.
I got a question. I wonder, and this is probably a silly one. So now that the college football can benefit from the NIL, I would think that you get some of these big name, not to play, but to promote it and to be involved some kind of way.
You talk
draw the names in.
So you're talking about paying college players to play in one of these spring leagues?
I don't know how the scholarship. They don't need scholarships anymore, right?
Because that's what they were doing in the XFL. They were taking anybody that wanted to play, including college players, to go ahead and get paid. Now that they're getting paid I don't think that's really a benefit for them to sacrifice their careers out there if they get a one bad blow or something like that. So,
but I think you go for I wonder what the rules are for that 5th, 6th, 4th round guy. He's picked to go 4th, 5th, 6th rounds. You play in this and get more film of yourself.
Get more attention, more film on you, see what you can do, and you turn out. And if you're a star in the USFL or the new XFL that comes out next year, you get to be a star. All of a sudden, maybe your draft ranking maybe improves.
So, but I haven't looked at it yet to know the pay structure. Like the American did, everybody made the same. It was $85,000. There was their salary or whatever. But I think what I mean by that is the college players to come in, like the quarterback at Alabama already making $2 million a year off of NIL deals. Can he sign a deal with the USFL? Not to play necessarily, but maybe promote or something. There's got to be a way to get these guys, especially in the South where this is going to be happening. If you get a bunch of Alabama fans that are only watching it because Bryce is the one that's promoting it, I think that's how you draw more eyes to it.
So here's how it goes. Pull multiple sources. This is what the sources are. Training camp, you get $600 a week. Practice squad, $1,500 a week. Active roster, $4,500 per week. There is victory bonuses, but they're not described. They say an average player can make about $45,000
that's not a lot
for the
money.
season. But for the season, for a 10-week season,
that ain't bad. $45,000.
That's not bad. That's not bad. Now,
that's not counting bonuses.
If you go to the Canadian Football League, they're making $65,000 for a 18-game season. The XFL players before they shut down, we're going to be averaging 43 to 66,000 while in the league. They paid more for the quarterbacks than they did everybody else.
I truly believe if you really want this to work, you got to have some names that not the general like people that just flip it on the channel and say, "Oh, that's such and such." Like not the purest football watchers, fans. Because you got to have guys. Because you got to have it to where at least they know who he is. Oh, he came from like Randy said. Oh, he was running back for Alabama, or he was here. Like you remember Johnny Football for Johnny Football.
Yep.
But if Johnny Football ain't acting like that Johnny Football, doing this and all that, you're gonna be like, oh, I don't want to watch this.
Or
wait. So sources say victory bonuses are rumored to be $850 a player, $850 a player. So if you win 8 games, you're getting an extra $6,400 a year.
And in the CFL, they can make like some of them make $300,000 a year. So I see the minimum salary is 65 in the CFL.
But again, you're playing almost double the games in the CFL.
I hear you. I hear you.
It's not a bad salary, especially if you're a no name and you're trying to get your career back up and running. That's not bad. Now I agree. There should be some star power there, but sadly, I don't think you're going to get it.
But
you're not going to get star power, but you need to have competitive football, not fumbled snaps and, throwing like, you have never thrown a football in your life and running for 1 yard a carry. The offensive line needs to be in tune. The running game needs to be in tune. The coverage needs to be good. There needs to be some points put on the board. So there is a lot of that to go around, but I think the quality of football is what will keep the league going versus star power. Oh, I agree. I think it will.
No, gotta have. Here's why. We'll watch it, Randy. But like I said earlier, if you look at the Cowboy fans, why are you Cowboys fans? Well, my dad's grandfather is a Cowboys fan. Like they're just down regardless of the situation.
I'll give you an example here after you're done with your take, but
like we can sit there because even if you watch the NFL, a lot of people don't watch the NFL because of really the star power. I mean, the star power plus the star power of the team. I just think not because of the quality of the football game. We watched the Super Bowl and it was terrible. It wasn't worth it. It wasn't phenomenal.
You're also watching the NFL because it's now the NFL.
And it's a production. That's what I mean. It's a production. Everything. It's entertainment more than anything else.
John says, "I want a water boy job. What's that pay?" I think it pays in sexual favors. To be honest with you, so
because even if you take college, you don't watch. I don't watch every college game. I watch the ones I feel like that's gonna be interesting to watch or a good game.
So here's why I debunk that fact that good football or point scoring and stuff like that won't work. Go back about 10 years ago, maybe 20.
20. Oh, gosh. You know how old we were?
Coach?
I was in high school.
I'm just saying.
With Charles, I mean.
Did anybody ever hear of the Arena Football League?
Absolutely.
That was fun, wasn't it?
That was a lot of fun.
That was fun and entertaining. And who the hell did you know besides Kurt Warner? Nobody.
What about the lingerie football league? That's entertaining.
That I have never seen one game of.
Come on, Charles.
That's
good football.
I have, but it was almost like watching porn run a first down play.
You guys say that like it's a bad thing.
It is when you're married. I'm sorry. I can't be watching.
I'm a 2-time marriage champion. Maybe that's why.
But I'm just saying, the game itself, if you make it innovating enough, I think would, which I think is why the fan football league, that the indoor arena game where the fan controls the plays, I think that's so much fun. And not only that, and you're seeing everybody. It's like a backyard game, really, with how they how pumped up they are. I think that's what makes it work. So the USFL, as long as they got a good production, as long as they get quality, I think will override star power. Star power will get people to view it, but you gotta keep. You want this to last for more than a year. You want this to last more than a game. Star power will get you in the door, but quality is going to keep you in that door.
Well, the USFL before, what they did was offered some lucrative contracts, but I think the way the money's gotten now, that's not even doable because even backup quarterbacks are making millions.
But to see, the thing is this league is not looking to compete against the NFL, and that was the problem with the first USFL, is they wanted to go head to head with the big dog. They thought they could win.
You're not competing against the NFL. You're competing against the NBA playoffs.
Yeah, you're competing against the NBA, and even that,
and
even that, they're switching that stuff around. They're trying to make sure that they don't go ahead and compete head to head with that. They'll play games in the afternoon. They'll play games on a Friday or Saturday and stuff like that. They're not going to go ahead and try to compete with anybody else. They're trying to get their own recognition. The first year, they're never going to do that.
So a question: are they all staying in Alabama, or are they going back to Houston and then they travel?
It sounds like they're in their own bubble this year. That's the one problem I have, is they're in their own bubble. We're not going to see the Tampa Bay Bandits down here in Tampa. That's
what I'm saying. So
I'd buy tickets to that game.
Why have it in Alabama is my question.
I think that was the one place where the COVID laws are laxed and that everybody is centralized.
Okay.
That's one thing I can think of.
But
that was the agreement, is that they chose Alabama as the bubble that they're going to play in. So we'll see.
You have it in Texas, we're going to be there. It's going to be loaded.
That's what I'm saying. It's like
everybody dressed out.
They're having their regular season there, and like I said, in those two stadiums in Alabama. The playoffs and championship are held in Canton, Ohio.
Hall of Fame.
Yep, in the Hall of Fame Stadium. 20,000 seat stadium, but you know what? You're not going to need the 65, 75,000 seats for a USFL championship. 20,000 is perfect. That's what made the XFL good, is they didn't, for what they could do, they didn't choose big stadiums. They chose the soccer fields to play in, and it worked.
Yeah.
And it worked.
I mean, I hope it do. And then the following year, we got Rock bringing back the XFL, and he's coming out like he did at the Super Bowl, start speaking. Hey, what do you think about that when the Rock came out?
I don't know what to think about, because what was he there for? Just to pump up the crowd? I mean, he lives in LA, and I guess they said, "Hey, Rock, get on the mic and do your finally." And it just seemed like a WWE gimmick for some reason. I didn't think it was necessary. I'd say, listen, just get the game going, because you got all the players there ready for the kickoff, and you got the fucking Rock, the flipping Rock there on the 50-yard line with the finally. Like, he's about ready to face Andre the Giant or Hulk Hogan or something like that.
I thought they was going to bring old boy. Let's get ready to rumble.
I'm about ready to go. Yeah, that too.
I would have liked that better.
I would like that a whole lot better, actually.
I heard the Rock. I'm like, why is the Rock?
I was ready.
I'm like, well,
I was waiting to hear a sound effect of glass shattering, and Stone Cold comes running out and Rock bottoms him.
That would have been awesome.
That would have been awesome. All right. Anyway, but yeah, I didn't care much for it. I'm thinking, why? What is this doing?
The NFL doesn't need that gimmick.
How much did the NFL pay The Rock? Because he's not coming out there to do a spot like that unless the dog is getting paid. It's
a waste.
It was.
I can tell you this though, real quick, because I know we get ready to end it. Charles, who won the overall? The little bets and everything. I'm waiting.
I don't know. I threw out the papers. I apologize.
Yeah. Oh, that's what I thought.
Coach went ahead and ran away with the prop bets. He got 11 right. Mike got 8. Me and Randy got 7.
It's okay, Randy. Welcome, Randy.
Nobody, by the way, nobody picked the MVP.
Of course,
nobody.
It would have been Stafford if Odell Beckham didn't get hurt. But hey, it's all good. But Randy is good.
Oh, I don't think. Yeah. Well, that's a what if type of thing. Stafford did throw 2 interceptions, whether it be fluke or not. Those 2 interceptions still go against him.
Back to The Rock. I don't think he got paid, man. The halftime performers don't get paid. I don't think The Rock got paid either.
You don't think the halftime performers get paid, Randy?
They do not get paid by the NFL. That's all. What never.
I didn't say by the NFL. They got paid though.
Dr. Dre put up $7 million of his own money.
Nah, they don't get paid. They just do that for the.
They do that for the exposure.
They don't get paid by Pepsi.
No, they don't get paid. They get
Why
paid.
Do they even need it? Why do they need exposure? They don't need exposure. Everybody knows who they are.
No.
Well, I would look just to point that out. You can look it up. Dre, they had like 650% increase in listens. There's a whole generation of people that don't know who Dr. Dre and Snoop and all. We do because we're older.
Yeah. But even if you go, Randy and Charles, if you go back last year with The Weeknd, as a whole generation of people that didn't know who the hell The Weeknd was.
Well, and he's a recent star too.
Yeah. Well, the opposite people knew who Dre and Snoop and Eminem and 50
we
were.
know who they are.
Yeah. And I think a lot of it, because you have to think about it. The songs that they played, we were in high school. Like that was the peak of our time. We was at junior high / high school and maybe college. So, and then some of them songs you still remember because you seen the movie or you heard it. Like, and it brought everybody back. Even the little ones was like, "Oh, what is this?"
So something that's something we got 9 minutes to go ahead and do that. So we're doing a full show apparently. So let's talk about the halftime show. What were your thoughts on it? The performance, I'm taking a look as many times as everybody pulled the mic out while they were still singing. Obviously, it was lip synced. But what was your thoughts on the performance of the Super Bowl? Is it the greatest ever? Like a lot of people were posting on Facebook, or do we think it was a good show, bad show? How do we think?
My opinion, I'm not gonna say greatest ever because there's a lot of great shows that got you going. I think it kind of hit you because when you say Snoop is a generational star, like you remember him, you got 50-year-olds that know Snoop. You got 18, 16, 15-year-olds that know. Like, I think that's one of the things. Then when you bring in Eminem or you bring in 50, even though when you brought 50 in, his song, that still brings back the memories because you remember that song at that time. You know what I mean? Because you heard it at the clubs or you
go shawty. It's your birthday.
Like you hear it 1,000 times. Because when it's even now, it could be just you and your wife or your significant other, and it's her birthday. You might play go.
You're at least gonna sing it.
Like you know what I'm saying? You're gonna say that part. So it brings back. I think that's why a lot of people said it was such a good show because it brought back memories of when you were younger and doing things.
I thought it was great. I thought it was awesome. The only thing I'm a Kendrick Lamar fan. I just didn't know that he fit what they were doing with the whole nostalgia thing because Kendrick Lamar to me is a new age kind of star, but all the other ones were great. Mary J. Blige looks phenomenal to be her age.
Oh yeah.
Everybody bagging on 50 for being gaining some weight. They ain't looked in the mirror what they looked like 20 years ago.
Yeah, that's funny because I'm thinking all these fat bastards say, "Oh my God, 50 Cent's so fat." Well, look at you.
Yeah,
I'm not going to say anything about somebody else's weight. Are you kidding me? I don't want that to say myself.
It's hard to say the greatest of all time because Bruno Mars did a good show.
Oh, he did.
Prince is still Prince is the best. In my
opinion. I like you too when they did that show.
That was horrible.
That was
horrible. Oh, it was awful. I will never forgive U2 for putting their music on my iPhone without even asking me. Never again. U2 is dead to me.
Anyway, so yeah, I thought it was a good show too. The only thing I did is the props that they had where it was enclosed in trailers or in just sets like that. It's like the fans that's sitting behind them don't see nothing except on the Jumbotron, which by the way, the Jumbotron up there is like one of the best ever. I love that thing. It is whoever created that, and obviously it's well worth the $2-3 billion that they did to build that stadium. But it's like you're not seeing anything live. You're not seeing anything there because you're seeing the back of something. I didn't like that.
But that was for TV.
To be open.
But if you also, Charles, when you go to stadiums like that, and I call even myself, like you're not even watching at the field. You're up there watching the Jumbotron anyway. A lot of people, because like if you go to the Dallas Stadium, you're watching the big screen. Like
you have to.
No, you have to. You can't get out of your sight. It's so damn big.
Hey Charles, SoFi was $5 billion to build.
$5 billion?
$5 billion.
Now, is that the stadium or is that the stadium and the infrastructure surrounding it? Because there's two prices in that one. I think the
stadium cost was $5 billion.
I gotta look that up because I thought it was like $2 to $3 billion.
We can't get off this. We can't get off the show until we know. I'm going with $5 billion.
Hey, so let me ask you this: since y'all looking at commercials, what do you thought?
I was disappointed.
Oh yeah, so I like the Doritos commercial where they mimicked the frogs. Well, which one mimicked the frogs? There was a flaming hot Doritos commercial that I gotta pull it up.
I thought the NFL one was probably the best when they came out to TV and they were doing their little signature dances and stuff.
Yeah,
that I did like that one, but I just thought overall you had like the one that they had the old school screensaver with the QR code. Obviously, that it hit the mark for what people were because it crashed the website. But I thought that was pretty silly.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was pretty cool. I was like, I'm not scanning that. It could be a hack, and Russia's hacking the Super Bowl. I'm not doing it.
So what I'm reading right here, Charles, is that it was $5 billion, and that the second recently built stadium was Vegas, and it was $1.9 billion. So far it was a lot more.
Yeah, it was a lot more, but believe me, it's the innovations that they have at the stadium is also more technically advanced as well.
And 100% privately funded by
Croaky. Croquet. Yeah, and also they're getting and they're charging rent to the Chargers. So it's like, I'm going to get some of that money back. Yeah, you're right. $5 to $6 billion estimated, including the development. So you're right. But also keep in mind, this is not an indoor stadium. People are fools.
It's SoCal.
That is a huge canopy that covers the stadium, but it's not completely indoors. That's why when you have the lightning strikes out there and you get like a weather warning, that's why.
It's a glass. It's a glass retractable roof, Charles.
It's not retractable.
It is retractable.
No.
You're right. It's not retractable. It is glass though.
Yeah, it's glass.
You're right.
You could see the elements outside and stuff like that, and then the top of the stadium has all the stuff. If you're flying a blimp over, it will show you like the logo, like a digitized. It will show you whatever they want to. It's like one big freaking screensaver. It's one big digital board.
And the sides of the stadium open up though. That's how they get the breeze.
Yeah. The
sides, like Arizona's, the front opens or whatever.
Yeah, well, that's also how Dallas has it. Dallas has the big glass sides that can open up as well. There's a couple of stadiums that do that, but yeah, $5 to $6 billion. You're right. I thought that was like the whole development, like not only the stadium but the surrounding, like restaurants and infrastructure, parking. I thought that was the whole thing, but apparently that was just the stadium. So even more than. So.
Said it was the hottest Super Bowl on record because of the glass ceiling and all that.
Yeah, it's like which is kind of weird too. It's like, why would you put a glass ceiling on it and make it open air? Why don't you, if you're going to put glass ceiling on it, at least close it up and put air conditioning in there?
No climate control, heat or air.
Yeah,
I guess they figure Southern California doesn't. It's not.
No. Yeah. Well, guess what? That it just turned it into a $5 billion freaking hot box.
That's why Dre was sweating his ass off.
I know, right? 50 Cent over there with all that weight. So damn, I should have got
hanging upside down like that.
All right. Anybody have anything to close? Because we got a couple of minutes there. Randy, go ahead. You go first.
Mike, I'm sorry you're hungover, but we miss you, buddy. That's all I got.
No, he on vacation.
I'm not buying it.
He's on vacation.
We don't have PTO on the touchdown crew.
That's right. We don't have it. Coach, go ahead.
Hey, I'm giving out shout outs, man. And probably gonna be some shout outs for you guys. Hey, y'all check out my boy Randy. He don't want to post about it. Same ish, different dad podcast. Hey, he got some good insight on that. Charles show. It comes on Wednesdays, Charles.
Monday, Wednesday, Friday.
Monday, Wednesday, Friday, got some stuff, and hopefully coming soon, I got some stuff coming out also. So, hey.
Cool. Yeah, my show, the Charles Richardson Show, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Check me out on Facebook, the Charles Richardson Show Facebook page. Go ahead and like it, and that's where you can actually see the show and hear the show on rawtalkonlineradio.com. All right, we're out of here, ladies and gents. We'll see you next week. We'll talk more of the USFL. We'll talk more with any moves that are going on in the NFL. We'll keep it entertaining. We'll keep it going until the new season starts, which is going to be a long ways away. Why does it have to be so long? Why can't the NFL play 80-something games?
No.
Like this? I mean, come on now.
John Monroe, Cowboys ain't even making the playoffs next year.
That's
it started. They're going to the Super Bowl.
Yay. Take care, everybody. Peace.
All sports, all plays. Yeah. All sports, all plays. All sports, all plays. 365, we making a plays. You talking the game, get you to the days. We're high in the court, the dime in the lane. Variety, topics, living the same. All presentation, sports information. In the airways, taking the nation. All sport, all plays, like working your faces. Grace at the field, so tie the laces. All sports, all plays.